I love you.
I love you too.
Fuck off.
Aww. That's how everybody treats me.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, paisanos!
My name's Jeff.
What kind of nonsense is this?
Guess what?
It's showtime.
Who's responsible for this?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my underground lair.
This is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
I ought to beat your brains in. I think I will.
What's good, baby? Charles, and with me today is my good friend Zach. I'm sure you all know him. He's the blast from the past, the man of the hour.
Hey, it's me. How's it going, Charles? How you doing, buddy?
Oh, gosh. I just woke up from a nap.
Man, a nap sounds amazing right now. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, you were telling me a little bit about that before we started recording. How about you go into that some?
Should I?
Yeah.
So, as I said last episode, they loaned us out 20 hours for where I worked at because of a snow week. But now I'm starting to kind of regret working these 20 hours throughout Saturdays because I had a long-ass week all week, and it was just stressful and too much work, and it's like, let's just overload him as much as possible. And next thing I know, I was sitting there working on my schedule for Saturday. I was like, okay, I'm just going to stay local in my area and then come back and not, like, work a full day. But, like, the office like, oh, he's working a Saturday. So they start loading me down with all these appointments, and I looked at my schedule, like, at 12 a.m. last night, and I was like, motherfucker. And so... Yeah, it was not pleasant. I was, one unhappy camper.
Yeah, no, that's definitely understandable.
I got it done, and, I'm just tired now, so I went to the store, bought me a tall boy of Corona Extra and some Blue Moon, and it's just one of those days.
Yeah, definitely. I've always felt those kind of days. But then again, I just kind of have a casual beer or two every now and then, kind of myself, period. So
Yeah.
it's more the norm for me than the exception.
How's your week been?
It's been okay. Nothing too crazy to report here. I will say, though, it was kind of funny because I ended up going to the store the other day with my mom. And, generally, like, whenever we, go to the store, it's just grocery shopping, whatever. She was like, oh, hey, let's go over to the store. I feel like getting some, some liquor or some alcohol today. And I was like, damn, my mom's buying liquor? And we get over there. And she buys, like, a big bottle of rum. She buys, some Fireball. She buys, like, couple things of, like, beer and, like, some club tails is what they call them, which is basically, just pre-mixed drinks. But they're pretty strong. They're, like, 10%. And I told her, I was like, okay, whenever I bring all this stuff in, like, inside, whenever we get back to the apartment, you need to tell Dad that I'm not the one who said let's buy all this.
Although I will consume it.
I will probably have like a shot or two here and there, like, because I know you guys, like, they don't really drink a whole lot, but that's just how you do, right?
Right. Speaking of mixed drinks, I think the one thing I miss the most whenever I was, like, until COVID's done with and we can all go out in public again, I really miss having a Long Island iced tea. Like, I know a lot of people don't really like that, and they say it's kind of a girly mixed drink, but I love a good Long Island iced tea.
Oh, come on now. Anybody who says that a Long Island iced tea is a girl's drink has never had one, man. That stuff gets you messed up. That's
Man.
Whenever I was in bartending school, I never really thought about what went into it, but it's literally like all of your clear liquors in your fast rack shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it's a shot of Coke, and, like, some places will do it different. Like, for us, it was, you top it off with, like, you could top it off with Coke, or, you could put, like, some other thing in it, like, a bicarbonate of soda, or, like, a club soda or something, then just put a shot of Coke in there.
Yeah.
Just kind of depended. But yeah, freaking Long Island iced teas, they're not something to say that's like, oh, that's a girly drink. It's like, no, that's a drink that'll fuck you up if you're not careful.
Oh yeah, that's mine and Kevin's favorite drink. Anytime that we go out and like we know there's a bar, that's the first thing. Like I remember we went to the casinos in Louisiana, and it was like I was married and I had a really like rough year, like several years really, and it was like Kevin invited me. He's like, "Hey man, why don't you like come out, let loose, have fun, get some free drinks?" I'm like, "All right." And this is the first time that Kevin's ever seen me let loose, and. We go to the casino, and it was I went straight to the bar. We made a beeline straight to the bar, and the way most casinos are is like if you're playing, then they give you free drinks, and I'm not gonna pass up on opportunities of free drinks. And so the bartender's like, "What do you guys want?" I was like, "Long Island iced tea," and I outdrank Kevin that day. And I had probably 12 or 13 Long Island iced teas plus beer that day. And I was drunk as shit. But Kevin was like, "Man,
I'll tell you what there, bartender. Give me one of them here Long Island iced teas. Make it a rough, too."
I was drunk as fuck. And like even Kevin was like, "Dude, you're holding your shit pretty well for a guy who's drunk off his ass." I'm like, "Nah, man. I'm just having a good time."
Then you try to stand up and you just fall on your face.
No, what was funny though is we spent most of our time in the bathroom of the casino. We were just sitting there man, these are some nice tiles. Shit, they really outdid their bathrooms. But we didn't feel like shit until we actually we left the casino and we actually real oxygen hit our lungs and we're like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, I've definitely had that before.
So, but yeah, I'm gonna have me a Long Island iced tea when this is all let up, and I'm probably gonna have a 2, 3, 4.
Probably have like 10. That seems like a reasonable amount.
That's a good number. I can still drive. Don't worry about me. I can still drive.
Whoa! Now hang on there, buddy. What kind of drive we talking about?
What's great though is there's a restaurant that they're still working on it right now because of COVID, so they have plenty of time to work on this restaurant. And it's an old restaurant that was like a family diner that's right down the road from me, just not even like 2 minutes from me. I could just walk down the street and go to this place. But they opened up a new restaurant now that's got a bar. So I'm like, "Oh shit, dude, when they open up, dude, I can just walk down the street, have a couple of drinks at the bar, and then come back home and I'm not driving. I'm fine." The chances of a cop ever coming to stop me walking down my street, I mean, it is literally less than 2 minutes away. I could just walk down the street and then back to my house. That's how close it is.
Did I ever tell you the story? I think I did. Of whenever I went to Pittsburgh. And basically, I went I'd go up to Pittsburgh, just to go to conventions, stuff like that. And one of the times that I went up there, I brought some homemade food because some people wanted to do a potluck thing.
Yeah.
So I brought some stuff. Well, whenever I got there, it's I couldn't find a store that sold bowls or plastic straws, and I was like, shit, I should have bought these before I came down here because I was just kind of walking around town. I had my car, but I really didn't want to drive anywhere that I didn't have to. Just because Pittsburgh, I hate driving around Pittsburgh. It's one of those places that if you miss a turn, you're driving all the way around the city practically to get back to where you need to be.
Gotcha.
And so basically, I walk to a 7-Eleven and I buy styrofoam cups. And they had the mixed pack of plastic, silverware. And so I was just like, okay, you know what, this'll do. Hell, whatever. So I buy those and I start heading back, and I take a wrong turn in the middle of fucking Pittsburgh. And you've taken a wrong turn during convention season because there are no cops anywhere, and you see a lot more people just kind of hanging out on the street.
Yeah.
And you see a lot more, I'll just kind of say it, you see a lot more homeless people hanging out. Around the convention area, you'll see homeless people hanging out, but usually they're I don't like to say it like this, but they're well behaved.
Right.
When you get out of that range, you get to like the people that will harass you. And I will say that like I had a couple people start doing that, and I was just kind of like because I had some some shots of tequila before I walked downtown. So like I had a few people that started harassing me. Then I just started I was annoyed because I was like, fuck, I'm lost. I got to find my way back to where, like to something. And so I was walking around like I was drunk and pissed off. And people left me alone. And I was like, man, maybe if I ever go to Pittsburgh, like maybe that's the trick. If you're like out in a strange city and you're worried that like people are going to bother you, is just start walking around like you're drunk and pissed off. Then maybe people just be like, oh yeah, don't mess with that guy.
I think you're onto something here. I think that's a good idea. I do have some stuff here real quick, some updates I wanted to give. I always like to give 3 updates here.
All right, lay it on me.
The first one is, and this is one that even you can relate to, we have started up a Let's Play series on obscured cartoons, and it is something that we'll be recording on the What's Good Baby Discord. It's called Obscured Gaming, and it's going to have me, Charles, Alex, and my son Dante in it, and then a bunch of other friends that want to join us on the Discord to play games. And I just bought a new Elgato game capture. Charles and Alex are working on their setup to get it going, and we figured this would be a great in-between content to put out while I'm working on animations and releasing podcast episodes, because those take a little bit of time, so why not appeal to the gaming audience as well?
Also, I guess as a side note there, we had talked a little bit also about streaming. So I guess I'll kind of hit that while we're on that subject, that for streaming, it'll probably be that if all of us are about and active, then I'll likely be running the streams, like, hosting the streams on the What's Good Baby Twitch or the Obscured Gaming Twitch, either one. But beyond that, for like, say, if I'm doing an individual stream, I'll probably be doing it on my own channel. It really just depends on like what we have going on at the time, and just to kind of simplify things. So I guess also just to let people know to keep an eye out for that. I do not have a defined streaming schedule yet that I can like definitively say that we will be putting out. But as soon as I have something that's like concrete, then we'll try and sync some times up whenever we can. If we can't, then I'll just be doing some solo stuff. So
yeah, and you can go live on that Obscure Cartoons Twitch anytime you want. I'm gonna give you full access to it.
Oh yeah.
I also plan on using it as well. I plan on using it eventually whenever I get a better internet connection to like chat with people as I'm animating or working on an animation. Like people can watch me animate as I'm chatting with them. Yeah. And that way it's kind of like a behind the scenes of the animations and chatting with folks. But yeah, I'm going to give you full access of the Obscure Cartoons Twitch. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I hear you.
And the second update I have here is Obscure Cartoons is now on Newgrounds. We have a Newgrounds account, and it's getting decent reviews. I only uploaded one animation so far. It was the beer bottle animation that I did. And so far, as a total, it has a 3-star rating, but it's been getting several 5-star and 4-star ratings. So we're getting more feedback off of Newgrounds than we are on YouTube, and that's probably going to be the main focus, is on the Obscure Cartoons website and on Newgrounds as well. That's going to be where our main audience, at least I feel, is going to be our main audience.
Yeah, for sure.
And the last note I have here is, and this is something that I'm kind of excited about to release. I don't know when I'm going to release it, but I've already got it up on the Obscure Cartoons website, but it's not available to the public yet. It's only for me.
Is it a diss track?
It's actually, I'll be posting my music up soon.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a diss track. You're going to be calling shit on me, ain't you?
No, so I've been working on an album, kind of like a demo album that's not something I'm taking serious. I have another character that I've created on the Obscure Cartoons lore, and he's one of those characters that I expressed through music rather than arts and animations and comics. And so whenever I create these songs, I'm not myself, I'm playing as this character. And I don't want to release his name yet, and I don't want to release anything about his work until I'm ready to release it. There's some things that I need to get properly moved to the side before I actually start releasing this music. But once I do, it'll be up on the Obscure Cartoons homepage along with everything else that you can find.
In other words, people, keep your eye out for the artist formerly known as Zach.
Exactly. But that's all I've got. If you got any updates or anything real quick before we move on, I'm more than happy to hear what you got.
Nah, life's been pretty stagnant for me here lately. I did talk to some folks last night about, like, you know, just some things, the possible, like, moving situation that I may be undergoing here fairly soon. But really beyond that, I don't know, man. Not a whole lot here. So yeah,
let's move on then.
I say let's move on.
Oh, well, what's this?
Hello. Hello, Mo. You better come right over. You're missing one of the biggest things in your life.
Fun? You call that fun? That was boring.
All right, everybody, now we're moving on to the things that you need to know. Now, this is the part where we describe 3 random facts that we think are interesting, and we kind of add our own little comedic twist to the end of it, but I didn't do that this time. I just went with facts. Charles, what do you got, buddy?
All right, so, for number 1, this one is a little bit interesting. Apparently, onions have been found in the eyes of some Egyptian mummies that have been dug up. The most notable one is Pharaoh Ramses IV of ancient Egypt. He had his eyes replaced with small onions when he was mummified. The rings and layers of onions were worshiped because people thought they represented eternal life. This aligns with the reason for mummification, to allow the pharaoh's body to live forever. Let's hope that these facts don't apply to practices used today. So, I just kind of read that verbatim. Now, the thing is, though, then this is what really caught my attention. The obvious Shrek joke that we can put here.
I was about to
all
say.
Know, ogres have layers, much like onions. This probably is what contributes to Shrek's longevity that we've seen over the years.
So pharaohs have layers too.
Pharaoh's eyes have layers.
I thought it was like, you know, you open up that way you can open up their casket or their tomb, and it's like you see them crying even though they're dead. Like, how are they crying?
You know, I think it'd be funny if they just kind of put onions in their eyes, then they just sort of left them outside. Just like big onion plants, so you can't even find the pharaohs. They're just trapped under layers and layers.
Oh, it's great. Oh, I'm glad I know that. I'm going to remember that one. That's a good one. I don't know why I like that so much, but I do.
I think it's like I said, for me personally, I read it and I just identified with the fact that, you know, Shrek is still a beloved thing and a meme, and I was like, yep, that sounds pretty appropriate to me. You know.
Yep. All right, here's my fact. Roller coasters were invented to distract Americans from sin.
Ooh, really?
In the 1880s, businessman LaMarcus Thompson hated that Americans were tempted by places like saloons, brothels, so he set out to straighten up one of the most immoral places that he could think of, Coney Island in New York. There he built America's first roller coaster to give New Yorkers some good, clean fun, away from Cedars, pastimes. This is the scariest roller coaster in every state. That's...
You know what that makes me think of? That honestly just makes me think, you know, the whole, like, this is a Christian server. Just imagine, like, going to freaking Coney Island whenever it first opened. You're like, yeah, I'm going to have a beer on the boardwalk. And then the guy's like, excuse me.
You're like, I was reading this, and I was just like, what? They were invented to distract Americans from sin? Like, if anything, when I go on a roller coaster, the first word that comes out of my mouth is, oh shit! Like, that's the first word that comes out of my mouth.
Funnily enough, I have my next little factoid here that's actually heavily related to that, so I'm surprised.
Oh, we're in sync here.
Yeah, so, apparently, you can ride roller coasters to pass kidney stones.
You know, I've heard about that, but I didn't really, like, look that up.
Okay, so here's the thing. Multiple people have claimed that they have passed kidney stones while riding Walt Disney World's Big Thunder Mountain Railroad ride. A research team from Michigan State University decided to take a look at the situation in 2016. They conducted tests using a model kidney and found that there was a 64% successful pass rate for those seated in the rear of the roller coaster, but that number was just 16% for those seated in the front.
You know what that means? That means that there's people pissing on this ride.
Either pissing or literally it just like imagine how that would be, that you're riding a roller coaster in the back and then you go around a turn and you just feel something kind of fall out. You're like, uh-oh.
Well, that passed.
You get out, you go to the doctor, and he's like, hey, your kidney stone came out. You're like, oh, thank God.
I think that'd be the worst time to pass a kidney stone, because not only are you, like, you're scared and excited, your adrenaline's running from having a roller coaster ride going, but at the same time, it's like, you're in the most uncomfortable pain of your life passing a kidney stone as you're on a roller coaster.
I believe that this one could be, like, that they're not giving you the detail of, like, probably not a really big kidney stone is going to get passed. Like, maybe, like, you know, a small or a normal one.
You're just going to push out some pebbles.
I still find it very funny that, yeah, like, you get off the ride, you go to the bathroom, you, like, pull down your pants, and a bunch of, like, just little pebbles, like, fall out of your fucking underwear. You're like, ugh.
Oh, it's great.
Gross. What happened on that ride?
We took pictures of you passing your kidney stones. You want a copy?
You take a look at it. It's just like your whole face contorted in.
That's not from fear. That's from passing the kidney stones. It's $35 for the copy.
Now, just to let people know, though, there are only some rides that this actually works on. However, they've tried Space Mountain and Aerosmith's Rockin' Roller Coaster, but both of them did not have the same effect. Essentially, the ideal roller coaster is rough and quick, with some twists and turns, but no upside down or inverted movements. So bear that in mind if you have a kidney stone and you're going to try and use this method to get rid of it.
Well, that's good to know for my next kidney stone.
I've never had one yet, but I'm going to say yet because I really don't want I really don't want God to say, "Oh yeah, well, let's see about that."
Here it comes. I had one recently, and I actually had to take off for work because, like, I just got up, was ready to head out, and all of a sudden I was just like, "Oh God, I'm in an extreme amount of pain." And so I called in. I was like, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but I need to go to the doctor." Turns out, yeah, I need to go to the doctor because I had a kidney stone. And I passed it that day. Thank God I passed it that day. And it was because I was drinking so many Mountain Dews from, working so much.
Oh,
like
yeah,
every morning I'd buy those really tall Mountain Dews. And I'd buy like 2 or 3 of those and down those within a day.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and that's what did it. And then, like, for a while there, I was just buying water and green tea, and then I started buying Mountain Dews again. And the person at the gas station, she knew about my kidney stones, and she's like, "You're on a bad track here again. You're gonna be getting those kidney stones again." I was like, "I know, but I'm so tired, and work's wearing me out. I need them." But I'm having some beers right now. That'll help me pass anything that I got. Beer
actually is. I know one beer at least is supposed to help contribute to breaking down kidney stones while they're still in the kidneys.
That was actually what the doctor asked me. The first thing she asked me, she was like, "Do you drink beer?" I was like, I thought it was a trick question. I was like, "No, I don't normally drink beer." And she's like, "I always recommend to all my patients to drink beer." I was like, "Well, if the doctor says that I need to drink beer, then I'm going to drink beer."
Yes. Do it. Get drunk.
Do it, kid. All right,
this is how you avoid it.
You just drink some beer.
Yeah.
So here's my next fact. Lobsters taste with their feet.
Ugh.
Tiny bristles, that's kind of gross. Tiny bristles inside the lobster's little pincers are their equivalent of human taste buds. Meanwhile, lobsters' teeth are in one of their 3 stomachs. Lobsters are one of these foods some professional chefs cook in the microwave. I don't know why that part was added at the end, but That's what it gave me.
I could see that mainly because, like, it kind of has its own little steam reservoir if you have the shell.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but then again, it could also just be that lobster otherwise, like, you may need to keep, like, a pot of boiling water on all the time, and they just kind of found out, you know what? Like, if you just throw it in the microwave, it works, and people don't complain. Screw it.
Can you imagine tasting shit with your feet? Like, oh god, I really need to change my socks. This is bad.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, that's one of those things where it's like, I guess if you live in a world of shit on the bottom of the ocean, everything kind of tastes the same anyway, so.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's better than, you know, like how some turtles breathe through their asshole. You know, I would much rather... you know what I mean?
Hey, doctor, does my breath stink? Well, bend over.
Actually, a quick little fact here I want to throw in, and this isn't something that I wrote down, but I learned that whenever your breath is shitty and it smells shitty, that yes, you actually are getting like shit coming through your breath. Like there is, because you know it's connected to your digestive tract. But so there's times when you wake up with really bad breath that is actual fecal matter shit smell coming out of your mouth. I've read that.
You know, I really like that we're talking about this, but let's move on.
Okay.
All right, so my last one here, I actually have a few of them written down, but I'll just save up some of these other ones for later. But, so, playing electronic dance music could be just what you need to scare away those pesky mosquitoes in the summer. According to one 2019 study published in the journal Acta Topica, the Skrillex song Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites combines quote-unquote very high and very low frequencies as well as excessive loudness and constantly escalating pitch that discourages yellow fever mosquito strains from biting victims and mating. So I'll go out here and I'll say I've never really listened to Skrillex and I've never really listened to dubstep. But if anything, what this tells me is that you can't really call any of the people who do, like, you can't really call them pests or anything for making loud noise in your neighborhood because, yeah, they'd probably be dead if that were the case.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know, man. But it's
That's
funny
something
to me,
I need
though.
to imply in my job.
Yeah, yeah, you go up to an elderly couple that they're having mosquito problems in the backyard. You tell them, like, well, you need to buy you some big speakers. And then I want you to just blast dubstep all night. That'll get rid of them.
If your neighbors complain, you just be like, listen, officer, I have a bad mosquito issue, and I'm not only am I helping myself out, but I'm helping my neighbors out.
It does make me think, though. Like, you go out on your back porch, you just tell everyone, all right, hang on just a sec, and just start hearing the bum, 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 and everyone's like trying to yell over it, like to talk to each other, because everyone at your house understands why you're doing it.
Oh, I love that. I'm gonna use that one day. Like, if I find that one cool customer that's like, how do I get rid of mosquitoes? Like, just play a really loud dubstep music outside your house.
Put on some electronica outside, it'll get rid of them.
Yeah. So the last fact I got here is Pez candy was invented to help smokers quit. The Austrian Pez creator named the candies after the German word of peppermint. When they were introduced in 1927, they were round mints sold in tins, so you probably wouldn't see the former chain smoker with Mickey Mouse dispensers. But yeah, that's what Pez was invented for, was to help smokers quit, and I thought that was interesting.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that's why you have a lot of, like, a lot of ways to quote-unquote help smokers stop is, like, gum-based or oral fixation-based.
Yeah.
Because I guess, like, just having, like, little candies that you can pop into your mouth like that, like, it's weird, though, that it's, like, that's the reason for Pez, because you got Tic Tacs and you have gum and everything else. But it's like, yep, I just thought, like, best way to, you know, stop smoking was that I had to break a little animal's head backwards so I could get a piece of candy out of its neck. I don't know. That's the only way I can do it.
That's the only way I can really quit my habit, man.
It's just
gonna give me a piss.
It's just the only way. I'm sorry.
You know, the way I don't know what happened to my brain just then. The way I quit smoking for a while was I just quit cold turkey, because from what I read was that if you even, some people, what they'll do is they'll be like, okay, I will stop smoking for a couple of days, and if I feel like I need a cigarette, then I'll smoke one. But what they don't realize is when you're introducing that nicotine into your body again, you're just restarting the entire cycle all over again. You're not defeating the habit, you're actually making the habit stronger. And so I quit cold turkey, and like the first month of not smoking, I was the most emotional bastard you could ever meet in your life. Like there was one time I was literally like in my room crying because I was so emotional. And then like what I had to do to like replace the habit of smoking was I just went for walks at night, and that helped me out tremendously.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that everyone kind of has a difference. Like, I would say chain smokers obviously are going to have a much harder time quitting than like someone who just kind of casually has one here and there. Mm-hmm. But I feel like in those instances, that's where it kind of boils down to like just reducing your usage is good at least. Like, because for things like that, now I will say I don't mind, and I would never tell people to like just try and drop, what they enjoy doing. Like me, it's like I said, I don't really have that many vices. Beer is sort of like, well, beer and liquor, I guess, just like having a drink here and there. That's sort of my viceliness. And especially during COVID, I think a lot of people can relate that it's like, you got to have something to pass the time.
Right.
I know, right. Like I used to smoke, but I didn't smoke a lot. And like, it was like one cigarette a day, like literally get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee and a cigarette. Cause that would like instantly make me have to use the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
So it was like, I would, that was my morning, was that, go to the bathroom immediately, then I'd be ready for the day. But I will say to that end that it also kind of boils down to, like that I tell people, I'm like, yeah, once the whole COVID thing dies down a bit, or at least whenever I get vaccinated, yeah, I might have like, I may buy like a pack and like smoke them like over the course of a month or something like that. But for me, it's like, it's kind of easy to do because I don't have that like relationship with smoking.
Yeah. Where,
I need it, I guess. It's just kind of there, and it's kind of nice if I have one, but I don't need it. So.
See, I started smoking when I was 17, and I had, on my 17th birthday, a kid from school bought me a pack of Camel Lights and handed it to me, and I was like, dude, I don't smoke. And he's like, you never know, they'll come in handy. And I was like, all right, whatever.
They'll come in handy. Like you're going to use them to like fight off a crackhead in a Wendy's parking lot.
So I was curious, and then I smoked one, and then one came to 2, then 3, then 4, then math happened, and I've been smoking since I was 17, and I'm a heavily smoker. Like I smoked for many years, and then I quit for a whole year, had to deal with some emotional trauma, started back up again, and then I quit smoking cigarettes and started vaping. And I'd much rather vape now rather than smoking, because at least when I vape I can get some tasty vape juice, and that helps me out. I can do it anywhere I want.
To quote a tweet though, that I saw, there is one reason why I do agree with this tweet, that like I don't like people who vape a lot. It's because you'll be walking down the street and you'll start to smell like cotton candy or something. You're like, like someone open a cotton candy stand, and you see some guy like walk around the corner. He's just, he's taking a big rip off a freaking vape. Yep. And you're like, ugh, you bastard.
It can be misleading when you smell someone else's vape juice, but yeah, vaping is what I do now. All right, well, I guess we should move on to the next segment.
Yeah, whatever.
Good news, everyone!
It's called fake news.
News team, assemble! And that's the way the news goes.
So the next segment we're going to be going into is the news you can't use. Zach, would you like to start us off? This is the part where we read you a news story that probably doesn't have much relevance in your life.
I would love to. All right, you ready for some news, Charles? You ready for some news? I got some news for you.
All right, what's the news you got for me?
All right, here we go. Satan tries to get a date on the Boston subway system.
Uh-oh.
The Prince of Darkness is apparently looking for a date on the Boston subway system. A 20-year-old woman approached transit police in the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority's Forest Hill station at about 10:45 p.m. Monday and complained about an encounter with a man dressed all in black, including a mask covering his entire face and his hood drawn tight. Police said on their website. The woman told the police that the man typed something on his phone and extended his arm across to her, displaying a message that said, "I am Satan," then stared at her. The woman said that the encounter frightened her, so she pointed out Satan to the police. The 20-year-old man told officers that he was only flirting and trying to be funny and said, "I was going to try to get her number." He was told that his actions were humorous and was ejected from the station. The woman was escorted from the police and to her destination. No names were released.
Okay, I find that funny that it's like, yeah, that's very funny. Now get the hell out.
It's just, when I saw that news article, I was like, this is something I've got to read. How many women do you know? I mean, how many times have you ever heard that, yeah, I got hit on by Satan?
No, see, that's what's funny to me, though, is that, like, what if it actually is Satan? And it's just like, she tells the cops, and then Satan's just like, oh, no, I mean, no. I didn't mean to
hold on, I gotta keep it down low here, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do anything wrong.
Big G's still watching here, and I don't, we don't want the end times coming just yet. I don't want to go just yet.
Oh boy.
Well, yeah, that's my news article there. I'll put that down in the description below for you guys.
Amazing. All right.
What do you got, big cat?
So, my beautiful little story here comes from 2014, roughly. I did see the news article, however, and it was one of those things that I just couldn't look past it because it's so ridiculous. Police have released a recording of a woman who dialed 999 to request help in a row over the number of sprinkles on an ice cream. The caller, who was not named by West Midlands Police, contacted emergency operators on Monday while arguing with the owner of an ice cream van. During the minute-long call, the woman told the operator, "It doesn't seem like much of an emergency, but it is a little bit." Police said 999 should not be misused. In the recording, the woman can be heard complaining about the ice cream she has been given. "I've ordered an ice cream and he's put bits on one side and none on the other," she said. "He's refusing to give me my money back and saying I've got to take it like that." Jim Andronov said, "If someone is trying to get through to report a genuine life or death emergency, a minute is a very long time to wait. I cannot stress enough that the 999 number is for emergencies only." So,
I mean, what do you think? Do you think this was actually an emergency?
I feel like the only emergency right here is probably like this lady's attitude. Like the thing, like if you're that dedicated to your sprinkles that you're gonna call like the emergency hotline, then I mean, like clearly someone should take a look at you. Just I
think you need a little mental evaluation there, lady.
Yeah, like to me, that's just trying to find something to complain about. I don't know. Like, I can't think of any logical reason to be so upset about the number of sprinkles on your ice cream. Like, that, like, this, like, not even as a joke. Like, that literally seems like, maybe you should, like, talk to a doctor or something. Like, kind of see if you're emotionally stable.
What if sprinkles triggered her? What if she does have, like, a mental illness and that's what triggered her?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. She needs to go and talk to, like, she needs to see a professional, maybe. I don't know, man.
I think we may have another Karen alert here.
I wonder how many ice cream parlors and how many ice cream stands she's gone to that she's given them this kind of trouble.
You think she's that way with like just ice cream stands alone, or she's like that with any stand, like a hot dog stand? Like, no, he put onions on there, and I didn't want him to put onions on there. Now he's putting the relish. Shit.
He only put relish on one side of the hot dog. I want it over the whole thing. Ma'am, whenever you take a bite, you get a bite of relish in every bite anyway. Yeah, but I want more.
I asked for more. That's what I'm paying for.
I didn't want to pay him for more, but I want more.
That's great. I love this story. That's awesome.
Oh, I don't know, man. That's one of those though that it's in the description. There is an audio link on the thing, but the audio link in the actual news story did not work for me. But I did look it up. It is one of those things where like you kind of listen to it and you're just sitting there like, man.
All right. Well, I guess with that, it's time to move on to our guest segment.
Hey, dude.
Want to talk? I'd love to talk. I'm not talking this damn thing over saw.
All right, everybody. This is that time where we bring on that special guest, and tonight we have 80s. 80s, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. It's good to have you on the show.
So, 80s, real quick. I just need to make sure of something, okay?
What?
So, whenever we do these recordings, you need to be sure that like you're wearing a nice suit. You got to be dressed for the occasion. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though people can't see us, it really gives us that kind of edge. Like you've went into a job. So I guess what I'm asking is just like what are you wearing right now?
No, I don't. Well, I'm not wearing a suit. If that's what you're asking.
I usually go into these things naked.
Well, that is your birthday suit, Zach. We've talked about this. It's acceptable.
Yeah, I feel comfortable. I'm the most comfortable whenever I do this. It gets hot in this room because whenever I record, I gotta turn the fan off. So I just do it naked. So I'm just letting you guys know right now. I'm naked.
I feel like that's like 90% of streamers and podcasters.
What's funny is whenever I used to do Let's Play, there were times when me and Kevin would record, and it was so hot in the studio because we only had like an AC unit that would keep us cool down. So we're like, dude, I don't care. Let's get in our fucking boxers and record. And so we just get down and like, I didn't wear boxers. I'm like, I'm just gonna get fucking naked and record. I don't give a shit. And we used to roommate together. So he's seen me naked many times, and I've seen him naked many times. It didn't really mean anything to us at all. So there was times when we would record, and I'm fucking naked throughout the entire recording.
Oh boy!
Wow, man.
So yeah,
just
learned a little bit.
As long as you're comfortable, you want to get the best recording.
Yeah, exactly.
Get your best act out of everything.
As long as everybody's comfortable with it, then there's really no problem there.
Yeah, I feel like comfort's key, when it comes to recording.
Right.
So, 80s, real quick, before we actually get into some of the ideas that we were going to talk about tonight, go ahead and explain to us how, who you are, what you work on, the stuff that you're doing right now, and how we kind of met.
Also, your social security number, if possible.
Yeah.
And my credit card information?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Of course. Well, first, I guess I'd like to. My name is 80s. I used to be 80s Cato, but I removed the Cato, and now I'm just 80s. And I guess you could say I'm not very up and coming, but I do a lot of work on YouTube and Newgrounds. I do a lot of 2D animation and animatics, and I post some gaming stuff. That my actual real name is Lex Whitten. That's what I go by on all of my other social media, but most of my other aliases are 80s. And I've been working recently. I've been working on this 2D animatic called, it's a parody, I guess you could say, fan film of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I've changed the name to Fear and Loathing in Las Venturas. The name is a nod to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, because that's what Las Vegas is called in that game. And it's just a fan film animatic animation. And you guys, you are familiar. I wanted you to voice for me.
Yeah, you had me voice on a cop, and who else?
I'll probably have you voice a lot of different characters, but the main one I wanted you to voice was the Highway Patrol.
I do like the Highway Patrolman.
Am I gonna be like trying to get some gay sex out of you?
Listen, it wasn't sex. He just wanted a little kiss.
He just wanted a kiss, dude. He's lonely.
It's lonely out there in the desert.
More than a kiss. I want more than a kiss.
Well, it is a parody, so maybe we can, maybe
they could work something else into that.
Yeah, maybe they could work something in.
If you're real nice this year, Zach, maybe.
You don't start any shit, then maybe.
I can't wait to see what you actually do with this, because I remember you showed me what you had because you were going to do everything in Grand Theft Auto. And
right.
I thought that was really cool, but then you started doing it in your actual art style, and I actually prefer it in your actual art style because it's more personal, and it's you,
right?
And I like that, and I'm really excited to see what's going to come out of this.
Yeah, I've been working on it. I'm still not to a point where I can add voices yet. It's still kind of in pre-production, but waiting for, because summertime's almost here. I'm waiting for that because I don't have infinite free time for at least 3 months, and I'll probably get it done sometime before 2021 ends. So it'll be cool. But yeah, the GTA 5, I wanted to do it in GTA 5 at first because I did make a video before in GTA 5 where it was kind of story-based, loosely scripted and everything, but it's so hard to make stuff in GTA 5, like, because it's so limited with things, and, the ideas that I had just wouldn't really work, and so
yeah,
I had to scrap that idea, but, with animations and animatics and stuff, you can really make it your own and everything.
When you showed me the GTA 5, what really got me on board with it was it brought me back to the very early years when I was doing YouTube, and I wasn't a very well-known YouTuber, still not. But
yeah.
It was right around whenever I had this account called Daily Images, and
yeah.
I had somebody who saw a obscured video that I made, and they wanted me to do voice acting for them for a Sims animation. And that was like the thing at the time, was like animating Sims to do a scene for you, and then you adding the dialogue later. And it was a parody. It was called Silent Fantasy. It was mixed with Silent Hill and Final Fantasy, and it was like Final Fantasy characters going into Silent Hill. And that's why I was so on board to do this, because it really reminded me of this. But then when I saw your actual animation, your actual art style, I was like, oh hell yeah, this is gonna be even better.
Yeah, and it is just going to be an animatic. Unfortunately, I'm only one guy. I'm not going to do like a full colored, like 24 frames per second animation or anything like that. But I still try my best with everything, and it's going to be like a full feature film, I guess. So you could say, in the original Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, the film, like the movie, they removed a lot of aspects from the book, and I wanted to add all of those back into mine. So it may be, I don't know how long it's going to be. I'm hoping to be longer than an hour, but
Well, I mean, just animation in general, as hard as it is, so whatever you do, I mean, I think it's just going to be great no matter what you do.
Thank you.
So I'm excited to see what you got, man. I'm ready to see this. I think this is going to be a fun little project.
Hell yeah!
Thanks. Yeah, thank you. And also, Heretic is voicing too. I was under the assumption.
Yeah, no, I am. I just didn't want to interrupt.
yeah, that's cool. But you have pretty good. You can do a lot of voices. Pretty funny.
Yeah, like listen, that if there's one thing I really enjoy doing, it's being a fucking idiot with my voice.
Yeah. But what was the other thing? How we met? We met through Robert Benfer. All of his like streaming on Twitch and everything. I'm not exactly sure how we were introduced to each other or why we started talking, but I know that's
all
how
I know is it was the worst decision of my life.
I know. Like whenever I came on, I know when I first saw Charles, which he goes by Heretic Fox, and whenever I would see Heretic Fox on stream, I fell in love with him. I was just like, dude, he's hilarious. Like, he's great, and how can you not like him?
Yeah, so, he's a likable person. He's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Charles is an amazing person, and so I was like, I really would hope to jump in voice and talk to Heretic Fox because, I really want to meet him. I think he would be great to do some voices for me for some of my work, or more. And so we started talking. I think we first started talking in Voice Boys before we actually jumped in the sofa. And we just talked for a while, and I was just like infatuated with just his comedy. Like the fact that, you have such great comedic timing, and you make me laugh.
Well, it's just like my dad always said, I'm an idiot.
Well, there was like one time you were sitting there doing your granny voice, and I was like out at my mom's house, and you didn't even know that my mom was listening in, and you were doing your granny voice, and you had my mom on the ground laughing her ass off because you just the comedic timing you have is great, and
that's fine.
That was the main reason why I wanted to jump in the stream. Like I wanted to talk to Robert too, but I was like so nervous. Like I know, like the first time I jumped in a stream with Robert, I was so fucking nervous that I felt like my heart was going to beat out of my fucking chest. Like I felt like I was gonna have a panic attack. And I didn't even notice that I was even in the stream. I was like, wait, where am I? And then I heard Robert. I was like, oh shit, I'm in the stream. And that's how I first came in. But that's how I met Heretic Fox. And then
we met 80s, and 80s is a good boy.
And then I sent 80s.
I can't remember how we actually met for the first time, though.
I think what happened was we started up the What's Good Baby Discord. And then I sent it to you because I was like, hey, I really like 80s and Croc. I really want to invite them to the Discord. And so I sent you... I think that...
was that like when we were doing the last stream of 2020 with all the VR chat and everything?
I think so. Like, I think the one time... the first time we actually talked was when we were doing Phasmophobia. And that's when we actually...
But yeah. That was a year ago. That was the first time. That was one of those times because I know we did it multiple times, Phasmophobia. But that was the first time I was ever on the stream was when because at the time I was one of the only people that had Phasmophobia. I think I still am because we never really played it again.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's one of those things where to get like then this is obviously a no offense to Robert kind of thing. Like he does what he enjoys doing, but like getting some games going over there on that end is like it can be a bit of a ball ache.
Yeah, he gets sidetracked a lot when he'll say he's gonna do something, and like all of us, fucking like Ralph will join the stream or something, and then all of a sudden we're derailed for like a half hour.
I think that's also what really brought us together too was our dislike for Ralph.
Oh, I don't think much people really like Ralph that much.
Oh come on, I don't dislike the guy.
I don't hate him.
It is.
I don't
hate him. I'm not over there like, oh my god, fuck you, Ralph. He's just kind of annoying.
But it's
definitely one of those things where it feels like a stream hijacking whenever he comes into play. Which that's not to say anything bad about him. Like that's just his personality.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things where it's like I don't know. Like I said, I don't really have any problems with the guy. It's just like that's his persona for streaming and stuff. So
yeah. I don't hate him. It's just there's times that it's just like I'm really here for Robert, not for you. You know?
Yeah.
Like, the show isn't called the Rolf stream. That's what your stream's for, buddy.
Right. Exactly.
Let Robert run his stream the way he wants.
The Rolf stream. Now I'm just thinking of freaking like Rolf from Ed, Edd and Eddy. Just
hey boys, I have made a Twitch account.
I would love to see that. I would love to see an actual Rolf stream.
Double D's just pissed because he keeps on like asking him like how to do everything, and he's just like,
Rolf, I'm really sick of this.
I would love that. Do your Rolf voice again. I want to hear that again. Do it.
God damn it. You're putting me on the spot here.
Do it. Come on.
Come on, do it.
Hey boys, I've started a stream. And I'm not talking about that is urine.
There's one time we were playing Gunfire Reborn, and that's all he did was talk in Rolf's voice, and he had me. I couldn't even concentrate on the game because he was just constantly doing Rolf's voice.
That's funny.
Good boy.
I don't know if it's a good thing that like I make it hard for other people to play games, but I certainly enjoy myself.
No, I enjoy it because I don't care if I die or not. It's just like I'm having a fun time just listening to you and laughing, so that's all that matters to me.
Oh, thanks, babe. Oh, your daddy's beautiful little whore. Thank you.
How did you know? But
anyway, yeah. That was about a year ago, actually. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I think when me and 80s actually really connected was we were playing VR chat together and just started chatting a lot together, and then 80s like came up to me and approached me for his animation that he was working on for the Fear and Loathing Las Vegas parody that he was doing. And
yeah, that's before I decided to make it an animation and not the GTA 5.
And we just kind of kicked it off from there, and it's just been
cool.
It's always been great having 80s on. Every time whenever he jumps in voice chat, I just love it when 80s joins. I love it when everybody jumps in voice chat. It's just a fun time.
Aw, thank you.
80s is our good little baby boy.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, at first, the first. I think like anybody, who is like invited into a Robert stream is like extremely nervous for the first time at least. Because the reason why he invited me was because I was like one of the only people that had Phasmophobia, and he bought it, and he wanted somebody to explain it to him since I had already had like 20 hours at the time, and so it was pretty it was pretty nerve-wracking.
Like, even though I've met Robert before in the past, and I used to talk to his sister Nikki all the time, I never actually knew Robert like in person. Like, I've always knew him for his work, and when Nikki showed me his work, I was like an obsessed fan. Like, I loved his work from there on out, but I never really talked to the guy in person. And when I jumped into the chat, I was so fucking nervous. Like, I honestly thought I was going to throw up. And then after like the first, say, hour, then it just became normal. Now it's just like, I'll jump in, voice, maybe, you know.
Well, I still don't have that liberty. I'm not a friend for Angel yet. It's bullshit.
It's, you know, to be honest, it's not what all it's cracked out to be. I'm a moderator, and I can't even ban certain assholes without Robert's permission, so...
Yeah. No, I'm halfway joking, but that's not bullshit.
I honestly don't even know how I became a mod on his Discord. Like, all I've ever done was just jump on and,
You woke up one day, you looked in there, and then you were like, well, I guess I have responsibility now.
Yeah, is that what happened? Did it just happen randomly?
You know what's funny, though, is with Robert's Discord is, like, you can't ever really tell, like, what you need to really do as a moderator, because, like, you know, moderators are supposed to, like, view the Discord and see if there's anything bad that needs to be deleted, but with Robert's Discord, it's like, okay, I'm going to expect all this bullshit that's going to be coming through the Discord, and most likely it's going to stay.
There's so much crazy crap going on. You don't know what's good or what's bad, I guess.
So I hardly ever have to use my moderator powers, but there's times whenever I'll be at work and I'll hear my phone go off and I'll see that somebody had tagged moderator in it, and so I'll go on there and I'll see like, oh, somebody's upset because somebody's threatening somebody or they're posting something
somebody's posting cringe.
So I don't think that ever happened within my time of being in there, to be honest. I don't think I've ever seen.
The last time I had... There was 2 times I've only really had to use... Like, there's been sometimes I've had to, like, delete, like, multiple posts from people just because, like, I don't...
Ever, like, spammed or anything?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's tons of spam.
We've had a few spamming situations.
Oh, really?
So, like, there's times if I see, like, where people spam the Discord, I'll go in real quick and I'll just kind of, like, delete the multiple posts. But... Yeah. There was maybe 2 times I've ever actually had to ban somebody. And
it's not as crazy as some other servers I know.
The first time it happened, I was actually at work, and I was with a customer, and it was not a good time for me to actually be looking at the Discord. And people were like, "Where's the moderators? We really need the moderators right now to do their job." And I'm like, "I'm at work, bro." And it was like somebody who was dissing out all the members on the Discord and on Robert. And so I was just like, you know what, fuck it. And I just went ahead and just like did like a complete ban on that fucker. And I was like, alright, man, bye.
It is rather funny though, because I've had that same kind of situation where I'm an admin in a couple groups, like, you know, nothing related to Robert Benfer or anything else. That we've like done, you know, here per se, but where you have these people that they'll start calling for an admin off of like something like, in one case someone joined and they didn't do like the /rules on one of the things that I was on, and people started calling for admin, being like, "There's a bot in here," and I like kind of looked and it didn't say anything or do anything, so I was like, I guess I'll take care of it. So I just messaged in there and I was like, "Hey, are you a bot?" I never got a response. I was like, "Okay," so I'm going to go ahead and kick them. But it's one of those things where somebody started bringing up after that. They were like, "Oh, if we need more admins in here, I can be an admin. Like, I'm always around." And I was like, "This is the first time I've seen you talk, like, ever. 1. And 2, you don't ask to be an admin. That's not how you become an admin."
Yeah, you kind of have to earn it.
Yeah, we have no idea anything about you because, again, you've never actually talked. If you're lurking, that doesn't count.
Right. I think the second time I've had to use my mod powers on Robert's Discord was, it was actually, I think, either this week or last week. Somebody had tagged mods in something, and they actually tagged it twice in 2 different parts of the Discord. And I honestly was like, when I was looking through the Discord, I was like, what's going on? What do I need to do? Because I really didn't know what they were wanting me to do. It just looked like something that was normal on Robert's Discord. And so I was like, well, this is the last person that posted, and then they posted mod, so I'll just go ahead and delete the post and see what happens. And that's what I did, and everybody shut up after that. And I think if people would sit there and like message me or like actually like post, hey mod, so and so is doing this, can you look into it and see what you need to do, that would be more helpful instead of just like tagging mod. Because then I'm like, what the fuck do I need to do? What do y'all want me to do? What do y'all want from me? I'm busy.
This actually reminded me of a really funny story of like one of the first ever instances I remember of being in Robert's Discord server for the first time. And one of the first times I ever met Croc and also Fiumano. This was before we were like acquainted and everything. This was basically like the first time we met. We like immediately kicked off by like sending gifs of like girls vomiting and stuff. Like it wasn't like a spam thing, but it was like more like a funny thing. Like somehow in the conversation we brought that up, and then like we sent like a gif or 2 of like women like puking. And Robert himself banned Fiumano for like 24 hours. And me and Croc were like, what the hell? Like, what happened? And, he just like banned Fiumano for no reason. And I guess they got pretty angry about that. So that was a long time ago.
Me and Travix, we've kind of like came to an agreement. It's like, especially like near the very beginning, like I didn't do any of the banning on you guys. I just figured like, hey, you guys are young and funny, and your comedy is different than mine. I'm gonna accept it, you know.
Do you remember when that happened? Like, did you?
I honestly don't remember because there's so much that's happened within the year. It's just like everything's kind of a blur to me. But I kind of came to an agreement with Travix, but like, hey man, I'm honestly not gonna mess with Croc, Fiumano, and 80s because I think what's going on is we just got some young blood in here that they have a different type of humor than what we got, and it doesn't seem to affect Robert or anybody else. So I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm gonna try to adapt to it and try to just enjoy the humor as it keeps coming.
Yeah, and this was actually like, I'm pretty sure this was in 2019 sometime, so it was a really long time ago. It was close to when he actually released his song Phil on YouTube. It was like 3 weeks after that, like after he posted it on YouTube. So it was a long time ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I know me and especially Croc will get pretty excited, especially when like arguing somebody.
Oh yeah, you guys definitely get excited over arguments.
Yeah, I hate it because I can't get loud like with my actual voice during an argument. When I'm typing, I get pretty excited, but I usually have to be pretty quiet.
We need to get Croc on the show sometime. He's definitely a character that we need to. We definitely need to just kind of.
We need to fully explore. We need to flush him out.
Yeah, well, he's hilarious. Nobody else like makes me laugh as hard as he does.
Like he makes me laugh. I think Croc's hilarious, but there are some times where it's like, all right, man, I think you're kind of pushing the envelope just a little bit.
It's really loud sometimes, and I can't even, like, I don't know how he does it. I can't get, this is as loud as I can get right now because it's like 6 p.m. and nobody's sleeping, but usually when I'm in a Robert stream, it's like 3 in the morning, and I have to do like this stupid little, like, whisper talk, you know what I'm saying? And it's so fucking annoying, dude. And like, I want to talk and stuff.
You'll get there. You'll get your own place one day, and you won't have to worry about waking up people, and you can be as loud as you fucking want.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, Croc, he's definitely hilarious, and I wanted him to voice something in my film. I don't know what yet, but he didn't really like turn it down, but he was like, you know, didn't really pay it any mind either. So maybe when I have more done and I can give him like an example and stuff, he might want to voice some stuff.
I think the last time I actually spoke to Croc one-on-one was I asked him if I could use his remix of Crocky for an animation that I'm working on, because I asked Robert if I could use one of his claymen in my animations and use some of his music, and he said I could. Of course, I don't really know. He kind of joked around with me, but like, yeah, you can use whatever you want, give me the rights to it, but I really do need to like actually sit down with Robert, like, hey man, how much do you want for me to use this song and stuff like that? But I really like Croc's remix of Crocky, and I really want to use it. And and Crocky was like, "Yeah, man, go ahead and use it." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then he started asking me like, "What's the next song do you think I should remix?" And I think he asked me like, "Stairs or Pink Towel?" I was like, "Oh, fucking Pink Towel, dude! It's a classic."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he was like, "Oh," his last thing he wrote me was like, "Yeah, hell yeah, dude!" And then that was it.
Oh, he actually ended up doing Dinosaur Bones, I think, as his next remix. Yeah, did you hear it?
I haven't heard it yet.
It's pretty cool.
I didn't listen to it. Maybe we should plug that song at the end of the episode.
Okay.
Just do it, babe. It's
but
okay.
yeah, that we were like we talk sometimes and stuff like that, but nothing crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think the last thing we should talk about before we call it the end of the show is me and Charles were talking about, and we were talking about with you as well off air, was the obscure gaming thing that we came up with.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a great way to involve not just whoever's listed on the title, but all our friends on the Discord, and just kind of like whoever ever wants to join, they can join and be a part of the show.
Yeah, we could be the next Vanos.
Yeah, exactly.
Vanos gaming crew.
I don't know why my brain registered that as Thanos. I thought, like, are we gonna fucking destroy half the population here? What's going on?
We're going to.
Yeah,
we're going
with our funny jokes. We're gonna destroy them with laughter.
I think the last time I played with 80s, we were playing because I think whenever I do gameplay with 80s, I really want to do more VR chat with 80s more than anything, because it's hilarious watching 80s just go at it with random people on VR chat.
We did play VR chat, didn't we?
Yeah, and you pissed off this one girl so bad. And
is that when what happened? What did I do?
You walked up to her like, "Hey, what's up, bitch?" And she got so pissed off that you called her a bitch.
My friend, right, was like sitting there talking to her, and she had her back turned to him. Like, I didn't know if she was listening or what, but he was just talking to, like, it looked like he was just talking to a brick wall. And so I walked up. She had like this music blasting to her mic, so I figured like 100% she was not listening. So I was like, "You got someone talking to you, you dumb bitch," or something like that. And and she like turned around, and I heard her turn the music off, and she was like, she just freaked out on me, and she said that she was listening to him or whatever, and I don't believe that she was. I think she's fucking like yanking my chain or whatever.
To me, though, that almost seems like whenever you get people who are blasting music through their microphone in a game like that, one, it almost always sounds really shitty.
Yeah.
Two, it's like, dude, stop.
Yeah, I know. Like, it was really annoying.
We don't want to hear your playlist of what you think is great music. Like,
yeah,
it's called VR chat.
Yeah, that's one of those things to me that if you have if you have your stuff set up correctly so that like you can play the music and it's actually like the unfiltered music coming in, and maybe like you're in a role play server where you're the DJ, then cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're just doing it and walking around, then it's like, why?
Yeah, people have been doing that.
You please not?
Exists.
Oh yeah, no. People have done that back in the Gmod days. And one of the things I always said I was happy for was that you could just mute individuals.
No, I remember playing Half-Life Deathmatch, and people would be doing that dumb shit, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And also like Modern Warfare and everything like that. People have been doing that since the beginning of time. And on console, Grand Theft Auto 5 on console, like way back in like 2013, there was like an open proximity mic, and people would do that shit on there too, and it was so annoying.
Yeah, I'd love to do more VR chat with 80s, especially like maybe me, 80s, and Charles just like jumping in VR chat and doing something, whether it's doing skits or actually fucking with people in VR chat.
I'd love to do that. You hit me up anytime, that'd be awesome.
That was fucking hilarious. I loved it. And
that was one of the last times that I played VR chat too, I think, because I kind of got tired of it.
You know what's funny though was like, because after you left, you remember that little dog friend that we made at that little map? Like, that person like invited me to their like little personal world that they love going to, and I don't know if this was like a kid or it's like some girl that was just playing as a little dog, but like all they would ever talk to me as is they would just like make little cute bark sounds, and
that's cool.
And it was like a little Minecraft dog, but it was so cute. Like it was a cute little Minecraft dog, and he'd be sitting at the bar.
Funny.
He'd be sitting at the bar, like having a drink or something, and he really got into character.
Yeah, that was funny.
And
we were like, no, you don't have that much to drink. You're just a little tiny thing, and ended up drinking like so many like cups of like shit.
Yeah,
we're like, wow.
It was adorable, and then he invited me to his little personal world that he loves going to. It's just like a little Pokemon playhouse where it's like got all these little plushy Pokemons, and like you can ride on certain Pokemons and like jump in the air and stuff like that. And I was just like, so this is your little playhouse? And he was just like barking at me happy, and I was like, oh,
cool.
You're adorable.
Was that the same time that we were in the Black Cat and like the whole entire world was like in the bathroom, and so me and you were just like sitting in the corner, and there was just like a million people in the bathroom?
Yes, that's it.
That was funny. I remember that. I know there was some more funny stuff that happened, but I can't remember at the time. I just remember calling that girl like a bitch for no reason.
Yeah, she went off on you too. She's like, I'm a therapist, and you have some deep-seated issues.
Sure. Whatever she says, dude. Whatever the fuck she says, man. Yeah, that was. Whatever. I feel bad for her patience.
And I was like, well, if you're a therapist, then you must also realize that you need help because you really get triggered easily.
Yeah, she got, some random guy just called her a bitch. Like she went off. That's how a lot of people are.
Yeah,
I can't.
You get some strange people in VR chat. One of my favorite maps I love going to is it's a Japanese map, and you go on there and everybody's fucking speaking Japanese, and I go in there and I'm like the only guy speaking in English, and it's hilarious because like I'm talking in English and I have no clue what everybody's saying, but it's pretty funny to try to figure out like what they're trying to say to me.
Yeah, isn't Japanese like one of the hardest languages to learn and everything like that?
I think either Japanese or Korean is one of the hardest language because there's just
I was actually trying to teach myself German for a while, and I got decently far, but then I had to quit because a lot of stuff I had to do and everything.
Yeah, I was trying to learn Japanese for a little bit because I wanted to kind of like go visit Japan with my buddy Kevin, and I kind of gave up because I was like, there's so much to learn with Japanese. I'd just be better off doing the tourist thing.
Yeah, I had this. My dad, I think, had this story where this guy he knew like was studying for like 10 years, like trying to learn Japanese. And the final test after all of this like studying that he did was like sit down at a table in like some restaurant with somebody that spoke fluent Japanese and have a conversation with them and have dinner with them. And apparently he couldn't do it, and he studied for like 10 years and he couldn't have like a fluent conversation with this person. That's how hard it was to learn.
It's one thing to learn the language, but then also learning the actual like mannerisms and the things that you need to do in Japan, because Japan's all about respect and traditionalism, and it's such a culture shock when you go over there to Japan. Like there's certain ways if you eat that you could offend somebody. There's certain ways like your posture, or if they hand you like a business card, there's just a lot of things that you really need to brush up on, like not just your language, but like your manners and how you present yourself in Japan. Otherwise, you're just gonna be disrespectful, and people are not gonna like you.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'll be going to Japan anytime soon. I've never really been interested in going there.
I don't think I ever will now because of COVID, but we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah. I've always wanted to visit Germany and London and stuff, though. And a lot of places in America I've always wanted to visit, like Las Vegas is one of the obvious ones, and Los Angeles, New York.
I've always wanted to go to France. That was the one place I've always wanted to go to more than anything was France. But the more and more as like the older I get, it's like I don't really know if I want to go to France anymore. Like there's some bad shit going on over there.
Well, I'm sure if you stay within like the bounds of being like a tourist and everything, nothing bad will really happen.
Yeah. What about you, Charles? Where are some places you want to go to?
My bed.
Your bed. Are you done for the day, buddy?
No. For places I'd like to visit, I don't know. Like, really, like, the thing with me is if you know anything about me, I like to eat, and I really like to try foods from different places. So it's like, if I really was to go anywhere, I just want to go places like try out different foods. Like that's all I'd really be doing the whole time. It's just like, this place sounds interesting. This food sounds good.
Yeah. I would love to go to France for food, and I'd love to go to try out actual real Greek food. Like, I think that would be delicious.
Cool.
But that's just me.
Why did it get so quiet all of a sudden?
Yeah, I'll get quiet. Well, I think
I've just been listening. You know, it's fun. I like to listen sometimes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we need to add before we call it the end of the show?
So
these hips don't lie.
Okay. What about you, 80s? Anything you want to add before the end of the show? Anything you want to plug or anything?
Nah.
Nah.
No, I'm good.
Plug in like my phone or something? What?
No thanks.
I was gonna say, like, if you wanted to plug your YouTube channel or anything.
Oh, yeah, Lex Whitten. That's my YouTube channel.
Lex Whitten.
Yep, that's my real name, by the way.
Well, I'd say go ahead and send that to us. We'll put it in the description for you if you want.
Sure thing, man.
Yeah, babe.
Alright, man.
Alright, well, 80s, it's been a pleasure having you on, and it's been a pleasure doing this episode today. And we'll see you all next time on the next episode. Until then.
Love you.
Exactly. Hey, thanks for listening to the show. What's Good Baby can be heard on Anchor FM, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and at our website at obscuredcartoons.com. Become a member on our Discord and join the fun and stay in touch with our community. Join the show as a special guest through the Discord and be heard. All links are provided in the description down below and on our website. Until next time, what's good, baby?
Zach, would you like to start us off? This is the part where we read you a news story that probably doesn't have much relevance in your life.
I would love to. Let me go to the bathroom first.
Okay.
All right, be right back.
Yeah,
I'll cut this part out. Hang on.
Oh boy, what a lovely day. Can't believe my good friend Zach walked away from the recording. You know, that's fine though. I mean, we'll pass the time together, viewers. Don't worry. He's not here right now. He doesn't know this is happening. But you know, we'll get through this. Don't worry about it. Y'all ever play with Transformers? Like, I know I used to play with Transformers a lot, and one of the big things about playing with Transformers was they'd pinch my fingies. And like, you know, like I mean, I didn't own any Transformers. I was always like, I got the dollar store toys, and they were okay. I mean, I had one that it was this weird little dude. He was like white, like with his arms and legs just completely white. He had this weird chrome finish on his chest with like a black back. And then he had like a weird chrome finish on his face, but like the rest of his head was just like a black color. Did anybody ever had that toy? I didn't know where the hell that thing came from. It was like, it's one of my favorite toys whenever I was a kid, but damn if I know where it went. Oh, there he is. He's back. Hey there, buddy.
I'm back.
You okay?
Yeah.
Did you pee in the sink?
No, I didn't pee in the sink. 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 The sink.